Hello students, the purpose of this video is to make sure that you feel comfortable analyzing graphs and functions, particularly identifying the parts of a graph that are increasing and the parts of a graph that are decreasing. If I look at this image right here, and I've stated you got an ant climbing on the graph, not just any pet, but Pierre the climbing ant. And he decides he's going to climb across this graph. In order to identify where he's increasing, I'm going to actually pretend, I'm going to use a highlighter here, I'll use yellow. I'm actually going to pretend that Pierre is walking. And when I think about how I'm tracing this part of the graph, even though the arrow is going down, when I trace it, I tend to trace from left to right, we're actually going in an upward motion. That lets me know that Pierre is walking up, or that graph is increasing from this yellow segment. And then I get to this green dot, and then I turn around, and as I start highlighting again, I'm actually headed downward. And then I get to another green dot, and there's a turning point, and then I start heading up again, and then I get a turning point again, and then I actually go straight across. And so each of these little yellow segments, I can be again identifying if that is an increasing or decreasing part of the function. So if I actually label the green dots, the green points, and then I do that again, I think, okay, from this segment to this green point, we said that we are increasing because Pierre would be walking up. That would be going from negative infinity up until -3, because that's the point, -3. Same thing from 1 to 4. If you notice over here, Pierre is walking up. So we go an increasing function, and that's at the point 1 to the point 4. Now what you'll notice is that when I look at the interval, so if I think about like where I'm decreasing, so I'm going from this green dot to this green dot, and so that's from the point -3 to 1. The first thing you'll notice is that when I'm thinking about increasing and decreasing, I'm writing my intervals in relationship to the x values. I'm not writing them in relation to y values. So notice on this graph that none of my y values are marked, and that's because I don't need to be concerned about those. I'm only representing the increasing and decreasing parts of the graph based off of their x direction. Another thing you might have noticed is that -3 and 1 are closed circles, and we tend to use brackets when we have closed circles. But if you've noticed, for all of the intervals I've written, and you can go back in this video, I have used parentheses for each of my intervals. So why do you think that is? Well, when Pierre gets to an actual point, we're trying to identify, where am I increasing? So where is he growing, going upward? Where is he declining or going down? When I'm on the point, when I'm at the very top of the hill, I'm no longer going up. If I was climbing a mountain, I get to the very top, I can't say I'm still climbing the mountain. I've already climbed it, right? I'm at the top. And so he's just standing there. He's not going anywhere. So I don't want to include that point as a value that is actually increasing or decreasing. Instead, it lets me know that that is one of my turning points. And then when I get over to this part where I see a line that just appears to be horizontal, this has a slope of 0, so it's a constant value. So when he's going from 4 to infinity, he is constant. He is no longer increasing. He's no longer decreasing. He's just walking straight across. Okay? So I have a link here to a video on Khan Academy related to increasing and decreasing intervals. I think it's very helpful. It expands on what I've talked about. So if you want to hear the same information maybe explained again or explained a little differently, I encourage you to check out this link. Before we end this video, I want to go ahead and give you an opportunity to practice what we just discussed. I would encourage you to pause this video and either make a sketch of the graph on your own paper, or at least try to identify the intervals in interval notation for the parts of the graph that are increasing and decreasing. All right, so I'm going to begin by looking for all the increasing portions of this graph. That means it's going to be the parts where when I draw from left to right, my pencil is going to be going in an upward direction. So that's going to be from here to here. That's also going to be from here to here. And it's going to be from here to here. So you see all in purple, I've highlighted the segments for increasing, and I'll write an I for increasing on each of these. And so now if I'm going to identify their intervals, let's see, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this has a negative 5x value, and this has a negative 3x value. So I am increasing from negative 5, negative 3, and I'm going to use parentheses despite the fact that these are closed circles because they are turning points. And on those points, I'm not actually increasing and I'm not actually decreasing. Looking at my next interval, I go from negative 1 to, it looks like positive 1. So my increasing interval would be negative 1, 1. Again, utilizing parentheses. And let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. So this next interval looks like it is from 4 to 5. Oh, I'm sorry, that looks not nice. All right, there we go. Awesome. All right, now let's do blue. We'll look for decreasing segments. So I look like I'm decreasing over here. I'm decreasing on this segment, and that is it. So I'm going to go ahead and write in blue a D and a D for decreasing. And now to identify my interval, this is on the left-hand side, it's headed toward the left direction. So that's all the way to negative infinity up until the x value negative 5, again, utilizing parentheses. And this other side is all the way from 1 to 4, again, utilizing parentheses. And then my very last step I'll do in green is my constant value. So I'm going straight across there, and I'm going straight across here. And so I can identify my constant line segments. This is from the point negative 3 to negative 1. And this is the point 5 to infinity. All right. I hope that you found this video helpful. As always, if you have any further questions, please don't hesitate to ask. Otherwise, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your day.